I will begin the news at this hour in southeast Nigeria, where the Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Umuahia, the Abia state capital, has affirmed the election of Alex Otti as the duly elected governor of Abia state. The three-man panel, chaired by Justice H. Gwada, delivered the judgment on the gubernatorial petition by Okechukwu Ahiwe of the People's Democratic Party, challenging the election of Alex Otti as governor. The tribunal held that most of the issues raised by the petitioners were not contained in their petition and no application was made to amend the petition. Now, in her judgment, Justice H. Gwada said the petitioner could not substantiate the allegations of overvoting, non-compliance with the electoral law, and averred that he failed to prove without any doubt all his claims. The tribunal described most of the evidence of the witness called by the petitioners as unreliable. Now joining us on the news is Gloria Mabeiam Ballason, a legal practitioner and CEO, House of Justice, to discuss further on this. Thank you so much for joining us, Gloria Ballason.
Thank you, Dashen.
All right, now can you explain the significance of the tribunal's ruling that many of the issues raised by the petitioner were not included in their initial petition and no application was made to amend it? How important is it for legal parties to clearly state their claims in such cases?
Well, typically the court will not just reach a judgment. It is going to rely on the pleadings that have been filed before it. And the tribunal has found that Dr. Alex Otti remains the governor of Abia State, and they have also dismissed the petition of Chief Okechukwu Ahiwe. And the tribunal, in its own findings, has found that many of the allegations that were raised were not contained in the pleadings, and some of the arguments also were not included, and there was no, any application to amend the pleadings. So typically, the judges would rely on the pleadings to reach their judgment, and anything not contained in the pleadings cannot become a subject of determination for the court because it has to be properly filed before the court.
All right, now the tribunal found that the petitioner failed to substantiate allegations of overvoting and non-compliance with electoral laws. Now, in your legal opinion, what standards of proof are typically required in election petition cases, and how challenging is it to meet these standards?
Well, when it is criminal case, it is proved beyond reasonable doubt. But when it is civil case, as in the case of election petition, it is about the preponderance of evidence, who is able to adduce more evidence to support their claim. So it's not as high a threshold as it is in criminal cases. However, there is an aspect that we need to countenance. In election petition, we have found over again that the role of INEC in all of this is just to sit and become an onlooker. And INEC ought to be the main party that should show that there has been due compliance with the electoral rules. Sometimes you can have petitioners or litigants even applying for certain evidence, and then there will be that dragging of feet by INEC, and before it gets to the court, the time has gone. And election petition tribunal is time-bound, so time is of the essence. And so when they are not able to put in the evidence that is required, it could affect the case. So yes, it is critical that petitioners and litigants in election petition are able to put together their evidence. But the question also is, how available is INEC to present this evidence? And so these are some of the issues that are still up for conversation, and really that Nigerians need to push for, because the work of INEC is not just to count for the votes, it's also to account for the vote.
All right, thank you so much, Gloria Ballason, for joining us at this time and also giving us your opinion on this matter.